Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, shout out to Jermel Charlo, undisputed, undisputed. It's you're walking in good company right now, man. You, Bud, Canelo, Usyk, Josh Taylor, Clarissa, Katie Taylor, Jessica McCaskill, all undisputed, man. And you've officially etched your name in the books after this performance, after this fight, man. This was a hell of a fight. That's possibly fight of the year. I gotta say, I was wrong about Charlo, man. He really showed a different layer to his game. I never expected Charlo to be able to come out like that and fight off the back foot like that. Because, like I said, when I've seen it, like I'm used to seeing Charlo just, he'll stand there in the pocket with you, go to work, get out, and just simply just move around the wing to get out, to escape the fire. Just to get out the fire. All right, whatever, man. Just let me move around a little bit before I go back in there and start cooking. He actually utilized the jab off of the back foot. He put on a really good performance off the back foot. I was I was very impressed. I was very impressed with his back foot game. He was setting traps, walking Brian Castano with the right hands, left hooks. He looked really good off of the back foot, man. The jab was there all night, the sense of distancing and everything. He really controlled the pace of the fight the first 3 rounds, first 2 or 3 rounds. With his jab, it was there. And it was clearly bothering Brian Castano because you Charlo is gonna bother anybody with his power, man. But you've seen Brian Castano slowly start to break distance and close the gap. And by the time the middle rounds came, you started seeing him go to work. You started seeing him take that step in. You started seeing him step his aggression up. And when they would enter exchanges, I think Charlo would land the bigger punches. Not always, but because I think he's a bit more heavy-handed than Brian Castano. He'd land the harder shots. He has the heavier hand, so those shots would land with a bit more of authority. But Brian Castano, I think, would land cleaner. So even if Brian Castano would catch a shot on the glove, it would still have an effect on him because Charlo was just that heavy-handed of a puncher. But in the clinch, in those close quarters off the rope, he was really letting combinations go, ripping downstairs, ripping upstairs. He was hitting him a lot with the lead right hand. He looked sharp in there tonight, Brian Castano. He looked sharp in there, man. But around about the 7th and 8th round, you start to see Charlo. I think it was a seesaw. I think it was Steve Farhood. I was in agreement with his scorecard up until after around the 7th round, where he just gave a string of rounds to Charlo. I didn't see it like that. I saw a seesaw again. I saw a seesaw. It was seesaw. Because Brian Castano would step in and he was landing the better work, not the better work, but the work rate, the shots to the body, and we can't ignore Charlo backing up. Now his backing up, his fighting off of the back foot, it eventually worked in his favor. But you also have to take into consideration that he is pressing the action. Charlo would try and he did it early in the match, and then later on in the match where he fight off of the rope, and then he'd get a shot off and then wrap up. And Castano wasn't really having it. He would stand, he'd plant his feet, and he wasn't getting backed up. He wasn't getting pushed around. Man. He was strong. That dude was strong, man. And yeah, man, he did. I'm a little tired, man, so I'm a little groggy and out of it, man. But he wasn't getting pushed around, man. He would stand there, he plant his feet and kind of throw Charlo off. He didn't allow Charlo to just debo him all over the place. He wasn't having it, man, and it just really made for a good fight. But Charlo he did that early in the fight, and he did it a little bit later in the fight as well. And He just really did. He did good work. He did good work in there, man. He did good. He did good work, Brian Castano, man. But it started getting a little shaky around the seventh round when Brian Castano's work rate kind of started, dropping off. Whereas I think he recognized that, all right, man, like he really did go and make these adjustments, man. It ain't just him playing possum on the rope. He's actually, you know, throwing. He's actually countering effectively, not just, oh man, I'm just going with reckless abandon because I had no other choice but to answer. Well, no, it was calculated counterpunching from Jermell Charlo. Except in the clinches, I think in the clinches, in the exchanges, Castano's speed was bothering him slightly, but he was still landing. He was still landing calculated punches in the clinch, in the pocket, off the rope. But like I said, we can't. I didn't like how they do this. This is one thing that they do with Charlo. Because they want him to win that. They want him to win that match. They'll give him. They'll give him. Oh, okay, it's okay. They'll give him them later rounds. They'll give him rounds that he may not have won in. They'll give him the swing rounds, and they did the same thing with Tony Harrison. I'm like, nah, bro. Nah. I don't think he won that round. But I think one judge may have only had it like 8-2 or something like that. I'm like, what type of shit is this? I don't know, man. There's no way you're about to convince me that Brian Castano only won 2 rounds. Like, nah, son. Nah, I don't think so. But nonetheless, man, that left hand that he put on Brian Castano was devious, man. He split the guard with it too, and dropped him. And it was, as soon as I seen that man hit the canvas, I was like, it's over. It's over, man. And that's when I like it started with the 7th round. That's where I kind of seen Bryant, like it kind of started to. He still did good work, like I want to say like the 8th round. He still did good work, and I think I gave him the 8th round, Brian Castano. He did good work still, but you started to see, he's not as active. He's not comfortably stepping in like he did earlier. Those jabs is getting to him. You dig? He's pretty cautious with that left hook. He's cautious with that right hand, that counter right hand. He don't want to keep getting walked into that. And now, naturally when your body is getting tired late in the fight, your legs may not be able to withstand that type of punishment when he starts to let him go and starts to land as effectively as he did. And sure enough, 10th round, that's what it was. But nonetheless, man, it was a great fight. That's possibly a fight of the year. Brian Castano there's no shame in this loss. There's no shame in this loss whatsoever, man. No shame in this loss at all. At all. This is what it's about, man. 2 fighters. Brian Castano has his loss. Charlo has his loss. Officially. So I think with these fights, let this shit be an example, man. And, I think this, the fact that we've had since Bud went undisputed in 2017, we've had Usyk, Canelo, Josh Taylor. So that's 3 motherfuckers right there. And now Charlo. As far as the men go, the women are really doing their thing. But as far as men go, yeah, Bud, Usyk, Canelo, Josh Taylor, and now Charlo. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? That's dope right there. So let this shit be let this be the new energy for this generation, man. For this, undisputed, man. It's something to be said about fighters who got all of the belts. Like you can't say that you can't say that I ain't the HNIC in this division because I hold all the jewelry. I dig that, man. I dig that. I real life do. And Charlo is salute to him. Salute to him for doing that, man. Salute to him for going undisputed. It was a beautiful thing watching that, man. And that was, like I said, possibly fight of the year. He really impressed me with this fight. Like, I was always a dude who was like, man, I think he's beatable. And Charlo is nice. Jermell is nice. He really showed me layers in his game tonight with counter punching and footwork and spinning off the rope and getting back to the middle of the ring and count. Oh, man. and not just not just counterpunch, just really effective with the jab. Really, circling the opponent with the jab. Jab, take the half step back. Jab, take the half step back. Just real judicious, even alongside the rope, man. Even alongside the rope, he kept Castano off balance in pockets, man. He kept him off balance, and Castano would miss wide because he figured he had him in position to land the shot, and nope, he looked slippery in there tonight. He looked slippery in there tonight, man. So Jamil really surprised me tonight. He really surprised me. So shout out to Jamil Charlo. I don't know what's next. I didn't hear this. My man called me, so I was on the phone with him while he was giving his post-fight interview. So I'm gonna go back and watch that, man. But good fight, man. Great fight. We on next week with David Lemieux and David Benavidez, man. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. I'm going to bed. Deuces.